What is going on, my friends? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of South Bay Sports Radio. On today's episode, I sat down with Serra High's head baseball coach, AJ Perry. AJ and I talked about his earliest baseball memories, his battles with Santa Monica's Tyler Skaggs, his collegiate journey, and what got him started in coaching. He takes me back to that 2013 CIF championship team and how important it is for young athletes today to play multiple sports. Let's tune in to hear AJ's story about baseball. AJ, thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate your time.
Appreciate you, Nick.
All right, let's begin with your earliest memories of baseball.
'95. My mom telling me you're going to baseball practice, and I'm like, okay. And she took me up to Holly Park Little League, where I started playing t-ball, and t-ball Angels. Coach Craig, I'll never forget it. And that's my first. That's as far back as I go. 4 years old.
You attend Hawthorne High. What would best describe your prep career as a student athlete?
At Hawthorne, Santa Monica, fond memories. Played against Tyler Skaggs, rest in peace, one of my good friends. We always had epic battles. I was one grade above him. And, I mean, since he hit the scene as a freshman all the way to his junior year, my senior year, it was always, I think it was always the matchup to see. I think I won the battle. So, but yeah, it was fun. I mean, just growing up in the city that I was born in and going to a public school, being the only black kid on the team for 3-4 years, and being able to compete at a high clip was always fun. Being a two-sport athlete, football, baseball, and just doing it at a high clip was always fun. So I think my journey, my experience, I would say it was super fun. I really enjoyed it.
I asked you to name a few memorable games, and we'll get into one that you were at Serra later, but one of them was against Santa Monica. What still stands out to you about that game?
So the game, we played Santa Monica. So the regular season, we played them twice, and I had a long history going. I think it was like 13, 14 games, something like that. And Samo was at the end of the schedule. And Donovan Ramirez was pitching, and another great lefty who went and played college ball. They threw two starters at us back-to-back. It was Donovan and Joe McGrew. And so Joe McGrew, I think, coaches at Samo now. And they snapped the hitting streak. And I didn't even know it was a hitting streak going on at the time. And I was playing first base, and they were like, yeah, we snapped the streak and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, I'll just start it back up next game, right? They're like, oh, against Skaggs, you won't do that. Like, it's Skaggs. So Skaggs is on the bench. I know Skaggs, play travel ball together, whatever. I'm like, all right, T-man, whatever. So they come over to Hawthorne, and sure enough, first inning, I'm batting third. It's 2 outs. He blew away our first two batters on like 6 pitches. It was easy work. And I just remember saying, I got to make a choice. He's either going to go fastball to prove a point, or he's going to go with them big hook, one of them big sweeping sliders that he throws. But I already had my mind made up. Whatever he threw, I was going to take. I was taking. And one of my things was I would take as though I missed. Like, just missed that one. Just a little cat and mouse game that I would do. And he went fastball, middle. And I took it. And I said, okay, he's not going to go fastball again because of what I did. And sure enough, he didn't. He went slider. And it caught the outer edge. I thought it was a ball. We all do as hitters. And I said, well, he's not going to come back fastball because he's thinking that I'm thinking I'm not going to go the same sequence. I said, he's going to go slider right here, and I'm not going to miss it. And sure enough, he went slider. It started in the left-handed batter's box, and it ended up on my back shin. And ironically, I took a check swing. Because I thought that it got a little deep on me. And the check swing, I kept my hands in it. It got all barrel. And it was a check swing right over the left field fence. And as I'm rounding second, Donovan's in center. And I just point to him. And apparently the outfielders had a bet going on. And they was like, I told you he would do it. I told you he would do it. The next inning, I was pitching, and I struck him out, and that was one of the better memories that I had against Tyler. That was my junior year, his sophomore year when he had just really got on the scene, and then fast forward his junior year, my senior year, it was deja vu. Same thing, got in the box. I said, you know what? He went fastball last year, first pitch. I took it. I hit him out on the slider. He's not doing it again. He's going slider first pitch. I'm not taking. Sure enough, he went slider first pitch. I didn't take, and I hit it over the left field fence again. And so that's one of the more fonder memories, and it makes it more of a fond memory because it's Tyler, and he was a great guy off the field. His family, his mom Debbie, who's a huge pioneer in the baseball softball community. Debbie's incredible. His father's incredible. Shout out to the Tyler Skaggs Foundation, which I was able to be the head coach of last year at the All-Star game, and they do a lot for the community. And so it makes it even better, just not the home runs, but just being able to compete with someone of that caliber, and someone who's a part of a family that contributes to baseball in our community the way that they do. So
After graduating from Hawthorne, you bounced around from Dominguez Hills to West LA College and then to UNLV. Yeah. What would best describe your journey following high school?
Resiliency. It was one of them things, you never know what high school is really like, especially if nobody's ever really telling you, right? So, two-sport athlete, do I go play football? Do I go play college football, or do I go play college baseball? Went to Dominguez, played for Murphy Sua, and first year at Dominguez was totally fine. Academically wasn't the strongest, ironically. And so redshirted, said, okay, I'm going to go and play at West LA. At this time, we had Bob Grant over there, and Hector Zamora, who's the head coach over at New Roads now, played a little pro ball with the Yankees. He was over there. And so I went over to West LA. Got to West LA and ruptured my Achilles. Bang play at first base, and the spike when the runner's spike went right across the back of my Achilles and cut it. Yeah. And so I got better, had offers to go play at Texas Southern, Prairie View, had a couple other offers, Benedict College, some HBCUs, and talked to one of the coaches over at UNLV and said, you could try to walk on route here. I'm like, you know what? Bryce Harper just got drafted out of CSN. The head coach, Coach Chambers, was going over UNLV. Talked to him, said, all right, let's do it. Went over UNLV, and it was deja vu all over again. Ruptured the Achilles twice, and that was kind of all she wrote as far as the college route. But the experience going to college, playing at 3 different levels, D2 at the time. I mean, D3 at the time with Dominguez. They're D2 now, but D3 at the time. West LA JUCO route, which was fun, and a cup of coffee at the D1 level was more than I can ask for the opportunity I was given.
You began coaching at the junior varsity level during the 2010 season. What initially brought you to coaching, and what made you choose Serra?
So, in 2010, what it made me choose Serra was a couple things. So, when I got to West LA, I joined the athletic training program, and that's what I was going to UNLV to do with kinesiology. And so in order to join the program, I had to get service hours in the athletic training field. And so ironically, the trainer at Serra, Myra Ruiz, she was my trainer in high school. And so she was like, yeah, AJ, come on, you get some hours, whatever. Went over. And the new head coach at Serra was Will Aaron at the time. And you also had a gentleman named Kevin Martin, who's a area supervisor for amateur scouting with the Atlanta Braves in our area. And Kevin is a good friend of my family's for years, well before all this stuff happened. And we had a travel ball program back in the day called the SoCal Cavs. And so Kevin was like, hey, man, we need a JV coach. I'm like, whatever. I'm here. Let's do it. And so one thing led to another, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. And that's how I got in.
What do you remember about that 2010 season and getting your feet wet as a coach?
I remember the 2010 season being real tricky because I had a lot of good players on JV, and the head coach wouldn't take them up to varsity because they had a lot of really good players. Hence Dominic Smith at the time, and guys like Tim Rivar and Khalil Denson and Denzel Chapman, and the list just goes on and on and on. And I had guys like Jamil Robinson, and I mean, it was guys like, okay, these guys are down here hitting home runs at the JV level, like no doubters. And he's like, well, I don't have room. And so it was real tricky because I'm a coach that likes to reward people that are well-deserving and who's done what they have to do to, and has shown themselves approved. And so it was a tussle of trying to push guys up more so than wins and losses, because we were winning, right? But how do I get these guys some varsity experience as freshmen and as sophomores that on any other team in the South Bay, they would play on varsity for sure. And so it was a good roller coaster. There was some games where I would dominate because I was deep. I had great guys. And there was some games a dogfight because my best players got moved up to varsity because Serra had a junior retreat where guys had to leave. And so it was a fun ride that year. Super fun.
Another game you mentioned was the 2013 CAF title game at Dodger Stadium against Maricosta. Take me back to that game, that team, and the run to get there.
Honestly, I haven't seen a team like it. Nick, to this day, I haven't seen a team like it. Out of the starting 9 who was on the field at Dodger Stadium, 8 of them went on to play Division I baseball, and the 9th guy was the 5th overall pick in the amateur player draft. That was Dominic Smith. The team was just unreal. And here's the thing. Even the reserves went on to play D1 baseball. I'm talking about who came off the bench that game. Solomon Bates, San Francisco Giants. Tim, who else was on the bench? Robert Dobson came off the bench. Fresno State. Arizona Diamondbacks. He's our area scout for the Atlanta Braves now. He has the South. Oh, man. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. Isaiah Flowers, Morgan Lomax, these guys, Mississippi Valley State, USC. I mean, the team was absolutely loaded. You talking about juniors that got drafted, Marcus Wilson. Denzel Chapman got drafted off of that team. You had, what's his name? I'm drawing a blank. He played first base over there, and he transferred from Costa, and he was over at first, and obviously they're on the first base side, and Costa was giving him absolute hell. I don't know if I can say that, but he was giving them hell and calling him everything in the book, and he was an absolute stud in that game. And it was one for the books. And granted, Costa beat us that year in the initial game. Serra played Costa at Costa, and it was our senior retreat on a Friday. And we went over there with 10 guys, no seniors. And they beat us like 13-1 or something like that. And we knew, though, like, okay, we had nobody there. When I say nobody, like starters. You had guys there like Duncan McKenna, who went on to win 3 CIF titles with Redondo. You had Marcus Wilson, but you didn't have the nucleus of the team. You didn't have Robert Hunt. You didn't have Dom Smith. You didn't have Denzel Chapman. You didn't have Khalil Denson. You didn't have Solomon Bates. You didn't have RJ Bates. You didn't have none of these guys. And knowing going in when we were at Diamond Bar and we won that game, it was, we're about to be CIF champs. It was no doubt in our mind. So that day was epic from start to finish. I'll never forget it as long as I live.
You take over as the head coach at Serra in 2021. What were some of your short-term goals? And then hit me with your long-term goals.
Yeah, short-term goal, honestly, was just, all right, let's try to get a league. Let's try to get a league title, right? We haven't had a league championship since 2013. We had been through 2 coaches at that time, and it was like, okay, we have the talent, we have the tools, we have the resources. Let's get back on top there, and then we will go and do all the other stuff, right? Let's start getting guys back into college. Let's start getting guys back into the draft pool. Let's start bringing more recognition back to the school where it needs to be, and let's trend in the right direction. And so that was a short-term goal. and we were successful. First year we got in, no draft picks, no D1 commitments, and we won league. And we won league first time in 10 years or in 8 years. And so that was incredible. We had teams with 3 draft picks in 1 year and didn't win league. And so, those are some disappointments that we don't want to relive, and we want to just continue to trend in the right direction.
You name a couple of your mentors, Jeff Hines, Wilmer Aaron, and your dad, Artis Perry Sr. What are some of the invaluable things you've learned from those 3 that you still use in your daily life?
Well, I'll start off with Coach Hines. Coach Hines was my high school coach. He was coaching at Hawthorne for 30 years. He was one of the longest tenure coaches, right behind Coach Stevenson at El Segundo, rest in peace. And so Coach Hines is a lot of the little intangible things he's taught me, right? Strategical stuff about the game, not really, but just some of the intangibles about just, being a guy of dominion, having good leadership qualities, understanding, just keeping your cool, understanding that, you are that beacon of hope at the end of the tunnel when people can't see the light. So, the camera's always rolling. Those type of things, just being cool, taking 5 seconds to just think about things. That was Coach Hines, right? Coached me for 4 years, never heard him use a curse word, and learned a ton from him. Just a ton of stuff from him that I'll take with me forever. Moving on to Will Aaron, he was the head coach of the 2013 championship team. He's my assistant coach now today. He'll tell you in a heartbeat, I'm 71 years old, AJ. I don't have time for foolishness. And he instills that in me, he's a big fan of doing everything the right way, right? There's a right way and a wrong way. And he instills that, doing things the right way every time, right? And he's old school. And so there's no beating around the bush with Coach Will. He is, he coaches everybody the same and he treats everybody the same. And I'm a little different. I treat everybody equally, but I coach everybody differently. One kid, I can raise my voice and get the best out of them. The other one, I got to nurture. And Coach Will, he's going to give it to you Coach Will style every time. You kind of need that balance, that young, that old school, that grit, that grind, that, he's going to say what he wants to say. And he's been there. He's a first rounder. He's played in the Orioles system and an Indian system, and he's been around great baseball players. He played with guys like Ron Washington and, and guys of that likes. And he knows what he's talking about. Some of the techniques and things that he trained, they're teaching it today. And he's one of the first. He was beyond his time back in the day with a lot of stuff he was doing. And it showed with the players we have today and the players that's come through this program. And so I look up to Will Aaron as just, Will Aaron's type of guy, if you're going to do something, if you're going to do it your way. And even as the head coach, he won the championship here, but he lets me do it my way. And he does it with grace and he guides me in the direction with a lot of, it's very graceful. It's like, come here, AJ. This is what we're doing. This is what's wrong. Take a look at it from this angle. Take a look at it from this lens. And I admire Coach Will when a lot of people would doubt Coach Will. I never had any doubts, And so I'm like, you know what? What he's saying is right because I've been there, right? Been there at this point, scouted at this point, played college ball at 3 levels, seen it from different lenses. I had different types of coaches. What he's talking about is right. And so when people get beyond how he says it and pay attention to what he's saying, they usually become a better ball player. And so that's one thing I admire about Coach Will. My dad, I'm not going to get emotional. My dad passed away a couple months ago, and he was everything to me. I was telling my team the other day on opening day against St. Bernard's, I try to always give them a little something before the game. And I contemplated all day on if I was going to say this to them because I never want to make it about me, right? It's about them. I played my time. I did my time. It's about the players. And so I brought them up and I told them, I said, I'm 35 years old. And for 30 years, my dad has never missed an opening day. And this is the first time he wasn't going to be there. And I got emotional and I told him, don't take things for granted. And that was my speech. And my boys went out there and they fought like hell and they pulled off that opening day win against a really young, good good St. Bernard's team who's going to do a lot of damage in the future. And that was my message. My dad, he would always be there. Everybody in the South Bay knows my dad. They know Artist Senior. That's what they call him, right? Mr. Coach Perry, Artist Senior. He's a staple in our community, always has been. From Little League to travel ball, yeah, he was my everything, man. First person to teach me how to hit, throw, taught me how to throw a changeup, right? Taught me how to bunt, everything. Instilled discipline in me, instilled fire, instilled the competitive nature in me, instilled moxie, just everything. Even when I got older and I thought I knew everything, he would sit me down and say, well, now tell me, why would you do that? And as we started talking, I'm like, damn, I don't know why I did that. And so I look at my dad as my hero. And so I take him everywhere that I go. And, I know he's watching over us and our team, and we're going to have a hell of a season. He's going to be right there with us. So
you talked about creating a culture and creating opportunities for young coaches, the importance of travel ball, understanding recruiting as well. Go into a bit more depth as far as that's concerned, please.
We'll start off with the young coaches. I'm a fan of evolution, right? The game is always evolving, and I feel like a lot of young guys kind of taper off only because they're not given opportunity, right? There's a lot of good young coaches out here that don't get a shot because you got the guy that's been coached for 30 years, right? It's a little more stability, right? You kind of eliminate the wild card factor, and at the high school level, college level, you kind of want that stability, right? But some of the greatest coaches now, in my opinion, got a shot when they were young, like Scott Altenberg, right? And he got in and he got an opportunity, and you get other good young coaches in the South Bay alone who got opportunities and they thrive. And so, when you get young coaches, you get a culture of young development. You get a sense of kids being able to relate more, of being able to come and talk to coaches when they need to about stuff on and off the field. And so I'm a fan of young coaches. I'm a young coach, and I'm 15 years in, but I'm still a young coach, and just giving people the opportunity, like a lot of my assistant coaches are older than me, but my JV coaches, all younger, give guys a shot, get their feet wet, see if there's something they want to do, and put them in position to be successful as much as you can. So,
how important is it to you for young athletes to play multiple sports?
I think it's super important. There's a threshold though at a point in time where if you're going to be serious about it, we got to choose, right? But growing up, play everything. Play basketball, play football, play soccer, right? Play tennis, whatever, right? Run track. I'm a big fan of running track. Develop skill sets that you can use for multiple reasons and multiple facets of the game, I tell people all the time, I wish I would have ran track, right? Not to compete. I'm not going to beat anybody, but just to, stay in shape, be able to have good form, good technique. I don't believe kids nowadays, younger kids, play outside enough, develop instinct. Hide and seek, tag, right? I know I'm gonna run this far. Okay, I know I gotta jump over this little bush right here. Then I'm gotta make a quick right, and then there's a fence I gotta hop there. That instinct and that athleticism, it comes from playing outside, in my opinion. And you don't really see that too much no more. Waking up on Saturday mornings, I drove down the street the other day going to my mom's house. I'm like, oh, this kid's playing basketball outside in the street. I stopped and watched for a minute. Like, you don't see that anymore. So, or going to the park and just playing baseball, whatever, right? You round up 9, 10 guys and just go play. So playing multiple sports. Growing up, I played everything. Basketball season, play basketball. Football season, play football. Baseball season, play baseball. But then when you get to high school, right, I'm a firm believer, and this is something that we really cultivate at Serra. Play everything, especially freshman year. Play everything you want. See, try it out. It's not going to make or break you freshman year at all, even sophomore year. Now, if you see that you have a career path in this, right? Like this year we had 3 D1 commitments. We're going to have a couple other college guys. Okay, now we need to start focusing on this craft because this craft is going to pay for college, right? And so now play everything until a point, and then let's choose one, right? I've seen that to pay dividend in the long run. And Yeah, we got guys that play what they got to play and do what they got to do, and playing multiple sports has helped them excel in the sport that they go to college in.
As of this episode, your season has already begun.
That
But what are some things you're looking forward to this year?
I'm looking forward to getting 20 wins. That's been a goal of ours as a team. I think we're going to reach it. We're 2-0. Hopefully we go 3-0, 4-0, right? But it's going to take everything in us to do that. I told my boys the other day, I echoed Dave Roberts, and I said, look, everybody in this clubhouse, I will do whatever it takes as the manager, and I will use everybody in this clubhouse as I see fit to win one game. One game. I will do everything in my power to win one game, and then we'll do it all over again. And I know a couple guys kind of looked at me like, is coach just talking or is he serious? And I got a roster of 18, and on Tuesday, I inserted 14 guys out of the 18. We went through 4 pitchers, and we won 2-1. And I stood by that. We stuck by the game plan, and we followed up the next day, which was what was that, Wednesday? And again, we had 18 guys on the roster. I got 17 guys in the ball game, and we won 8-2. And so, that's just the culture I'm building. Everybody be ready to play. Everybody understands their lane. Everybody's interchangeable here. And it's team first with us. And the team first aspect is going to take us a long way. I'm excited to see how the new playoff format goes with baseball, where the league standings really don't mean anything too much. And we see how we go, and I'm excited about this year. I love my boys from the past. I think this year is a more team. And I think that's what we're riding on, and everybody's standing by each other and fighting for each other. So it's fun. Super fun.
We doing baseball just like football and basketball, where depending on how you play and who you play in your non-league schedule is where you're slotted in CIF?
Correct. This year for baseball, it is not a league finish scenario. It's a record finish scenario, seeding, things of that nature, ranking, and strength of schedule. And so it brings a little equity to the baseball world, which I think is important. You got a league like ours that last year you had a team from Division I, Division II, Division III, Division IV in one league. And obviously it kind of panned out that way, where the Division I team was in first place, Division II team was in second place, so on and so forth. Minus the year where we came in first, where we were a Division IV team and we beat Bishop Amon. And the following year, we were a Division III team and we beat Bishop Amon, came in second place. But it just brings some equity to baseball and gives everybody a fair shake at it. Some teams that should be in different leagues that aren't for whatever reason, go compete with the big dogs, right? Everybody's going to be exactly where they're supposed to be at. So
that will wrap up the serious side of this episode. We are going to transfer into rapid fire.
Okay.
5 questions.
Okay.
Your answers are your answers.
Okay.
We shall begin with your favorite baseball players.
My favorite baseball player. How many?
5.
All right, let's go Ken Griffey Jr. I'm going to go Barry Bonds. I'm going to go A-Rod. I'm going to go I like the Kingfish. That's kind of debatable. And I am a Randy Johnson fan. Big time.
Your least favorite baseball team.
Oh, my God, the Miami Marlins. Jesus.
Your favorite baseball movie.
Major Leagues. Without a shadow of a doubt, just a bit outside. Yes, sir.
May he rest in peace.
Yes.
A movie is being made about your life. Who plays you?
Omar Epps.
Your go-to South Bay eatery and your favorite dish there.
Ooh, my go-to South Bay eatery will be Wellington Barbecue in Redondo Beach off of PCH. Give me the beef rib, please, with a side of cream corn.
I know exactly where that is. I drive past it every day to go to work.
Don't pass it up next time. You got to stop and get you some.
There we go. AJ, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate you. Good luck to the Cavs this season.
I appreciate you, Nick. Thanks for having me on, man. Best of luck to you, too.
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to follow along and share these episodes with your family and friends. Until the next episode, South Bay Sports Guy signing off. Have a great day.